Welcome back. I'm Curtis Smith. Bobby Cover, Otero County Master Gardener, is going to show us how to divide daylilies. She's got a lot of very interesting daylilies. It's really not the best season for this, but it's good to show people how to do it, and they're tough enough they can tolerate it.
That's true. They're a really good plant for gardens. You can do a lot with them whenever you want to.
Notice you use your spading fork to dig all around it before we started, and so it's loose in the ground right now.
It's ready to go.
Okay, let's see how we do this.
I'm going to pull it up out of the ground. Pull it from the root ball rather than the top of the crown. You'll notice I have an invader.
Bermuda grass here. Good thing to do to get that out right now.
Good time to get rid of that.
Because it would take over the clump.
I want to save my label with it because there are so many different daylilies in this garden. If I do this, I'm going to get them confused.
And speaking of labeling, people ought to know how to label. What's your favorite form of labeling?
For my purposes, this isn't the most aesthetic thing, but it gives me the most information. This is a mini blind cut in pieces. I've used a paintball roller marker.
Paintball, that's important because wax pencils and magic markers don't work.
They don't work at all. And on this one I put the ploidy because I like to hybridize. And a diploid and a tetraploid will not cross-pollinate. Okay. And so I've got TET written up here for my information. I've got the name of the plant, and I have the information on how tall the scapes will get. The scapes are the plant stems, the flower stems. This is supposed to get to 32 inches. It blooms early to mid-season, and it's a rebloomer. And I need to know that information for my purposes in the garden.
A rebloomer, now that's something people need to know about too, that daylilies used to be a one-time bloomer. Now they'll bloom more than once.
That's true, and it depends on the garden situation. Some rebloomers will not rebloom in certain locales, and others will just keep blooming right along. Stella d'Oro is a famous one. It's supposed to bloom forever everywhere. We can't get it to bloom here. It won't bloom in southern New Mexico. Up north, it'll just bloom like it's supposed to.
I've got black-eyed Stella. One year it bloomed 4 times, and one year it bloomed once.
And they'll do that because of the
climate.
variant.
Variant.
So I have my information. I have SEV down here, tells me that's a semi-evergreen, so it goes kind of half dormant in the wintertime. And I want to know that it's fragrant in case I want to cross-pollinate it with another one so I can get more fragrance. I keep the flower size on here and the color size, or the color description. And so that's my key to what I'm doing. I talked a little bit with you earlier about copper labels, and they're very attractive in the catalogs, but they're very useless in the garden. You see, I put the same information on this one, and it just did not show up.
It's hard to see.
So this is good. It's not aesthetic, but it gives me what I want to know.
Okay, so now we'll divide it. Now see, we need to know a little bit about a daylily. It's a plant that grows from a crown, but it has tuberous roots. And as you're shaking the soil off here, we can see those tuberous roots coming out into view.
There's a
Being
classic.
pretty rough there, aren't you?
It's a pretty tough plant. You can break them loose like this, and you have a single fan. A lot of your growers will send you a single fan plant, and this may be what you get. If you're ordering them, you're going to want a double fan if you can get them. They cost a little more, but it gives you a better plant faster.
But if you've got just a single fan, it's going to grow. It just takes a little longer.
Exactly.
You don't have to re-divide it as soon.
There's that. But speaking of that, not dividing it as soon, one of the reasons we're doing this is these 3 plants will very quickly fill in this area. And so you need to break it down so that they can have room to grow.
How often do you divide yours?
Whenever I feel like it.
And what season do you prefer?
I would recommend 3 years to answer your question.
Once every 3 years, and in what season?
This is probably not the best time. After bloom is the best time so that you don't last up your bloom period. However, if they've gone down like every perennial, if they don't bloom well for you, it's probably time to divide it.
Okay, and don't worry about the season then. And these are tough plants.
Yeah.
And so if you divide it out of season, you may lose that season's blossom, but it'll bloom the next year.
Yeah. A lot of people are very careful about the way they divide their daylilies. They will take maybe a screwdriver to loosen the roots. I've discovered you don't have to be quite so cautious. If you want to, you can come right down here with a shovel blade or with the fork blade and just go straight down. You open the plant up for a little infection that way, but it's not a major problem. You let it heal over.
Don't plant it back immediately.
Yeah, and you can leave them out of the ground for weeks if you want to.
It's not a good idea, but at least a few days to let that wound heal.
That's right.
Or wound
get
close
it calloused over. So
And how many fans do you like when you're dividing your own? You're not buying, but you're just dividing it.
Probably I would take half of this clump, or a quarter.
Okay, so you can leave it fairly large. Some people try to leave them too large, and then it doesn't bloom as well. You can make it too big a clump.
Yeah, so I've shown you the right way is to pull it out gently. I'm going to show you the way the purists say they won't do it, but I found that a daylily is tough enough. I'm not going to go right down the top of the fan. I'm going to bring it down in between fans. And I like to hold my shovel backwards.
Okay.
I can control it better. Easy to say.
That's because it's a little spongy.
There
you go.
There we go.
Nice sound when you cut
This
through
has a really good crown on it.
So it needed to be divided.
Yes, it was time. You see here, this is what we're talking about. You open it up for some more infection if you're not cautious with it.
Leave that sitting out, drying up. Well, Bobby, thank you. This is
can
something people need to know about.
Separate this out. You asked about how many fans. This would be a good clump to start over with.